Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a dozen massive AI updates that signal a fundamental shift in what AI can do. We're talking about moving from an AI that gives you answers to an AI that literally does your job for you. So let's get right into it.
Let's kick things off with this quote from Nvidia's CEO, because it really is the single most important idea we're going to talk about. The whole industry is shifting from AI as a consultant you talk to AI as a worker you can actually hire. And that changes absolutely everything.
And this shift, this move from simply answering questions to actually doing the work, it's leading to some truly massive, almost science fiction level predictions from the biggest names in the industry about where our economy and even our whole society is headed.
I mean, just take a look at this. At the recent Abundance Summit, Elon Musk just casually laid out a future where AI and robots will produce so much stuff that will basically solve material scarcity. And as if that wasn't wild enough, he followed it up by saying the global economy will grow 10 times over in the next decade. He called it a fairly comfortable prediction. Just incredible.
So the big question is, how do we get from here to a 10x economy? Well, the answer seems to lie in the single biggest trend in AI right now, the rise of what are called autonomous agents. So what exactly is an AI agent? It's a really simple but profound idea. Instead of just chatting with an AI for ideas or, a rough draft, you give it a task, a goal, and it just goes off and does it. It completes the finished work all by itself. And trust me, this is not some niche futuristic concept. Everybody is racing to put one of these agents on your computer. You've got companies launching tools that organize your files, act as a co-founder, or even act as a remote control for your entire machine. The very definition of software is changing right before our eyes. Nvidia's CEO really broke this down beautifully. He explained this whole evolution as a three-step process just over the last 2 years. First, AI learned to create things. Then, it learned to reason and plan. And now, for the final step, it's learning to act, to actually do things. And if you want to know what the endgame looks like, look no further than this. Jensen Huang announced this new project, OpenClaw, and he didn't compare it to another app. He compared it to Windows. Think about that. He believes that just like Windows gave us all personal computers, OpenClaw is going to give every single person their own personal AI agent. Okay, so that's the big vision. But let's look at how this agent philosophy is already showing up in real tools you can use right now. Seriously, this isn't 10 years away. This stuff is happening this week. Google just connected 2 of its newest tools to create something they're calling vibe design. You can literally just describe the vibe of an app you want, and it generates not just a picture, but the full stack code. You can go from a simple idea to a working prototype in minutes without touching a line of code. And it's not just about creating things, it's also about processing information about you. Google's new personal intelligence feature connects your email, photos, and calendar to give you incredibly useful answers. And Perplexity Health is doing the same thing for all your health data, spotting trends that even your doctor might not have time to find. It's really powerful. And yeah, a little bit uncomfortable, right? You can really see this shift in attitude in these tiny little details. The presentation tool Gamma is so sure it's the new standard that it's actually replacing the word presentation with its own brand name on its share button. I mean, it's a classic power move. It tells you exactly where they think this is all going. Okay, so we've seen the grand vision, we've seen the powerful new tools, but let's bring this all back down to earth and ask the really crucial question. What does the shift from AI answering questions to AI doing the work actually mean for your career? Well, OpenAI's co-founder Andrej Karpathy just dropped this stunning analysis that, frankly, everyone needs to see. He took hundreds of real-world jobs and scored every single one based on how exposed it is to being replaced by AI. Now, here's the finding that nobody saw coming. It's not the lower-paying jobs that are most at risk. It's the opposite. The average AI exposure score for jobs paying over $100,000 a year was a staggering 6.7 out of 10. When you dig in, the pattern that emerges is just crystal clear. If your job happens primarily on a screen, if you're writing, coding, living in spreadsheets, your job is in the red zone. But if your work is physical, you're largely untouched. At least for now. And to see this divide in action, just look at these examples. Medical transcriptionists, a job that is 100% screen-based, scored a perfect 10. Software developers scored up to a 9. But trades like plumbers and electricians
People who work with their hands, they scored near zero.
So all of this leaves us with this one really provocative question to think about. It's a question that's probably going to define the next decade of all of our careers and force us to completely rethink the nature of what it even means to have a job.